Okay, so these experiences happened in 2014 and 2018. But anyway, yesterday it was kind of funny. I went to the store. Well, I realized I kept buying this bread, and I don't know why it just dawned on me, but it kept having the price of like $5.99, but then it kept ringing up $6.99. But it just didn't really click before that they were like overcharging me. So then when it finally clicked that they were overcharging me, I took the bread back in there and got my $2 back. Because it's supposed to be $5.99, and they're doing that with other products too, because I know my mom had the same situation, and I was like, well, take it back in there and get your money back, and she did. But I can't remember what she bought, and I actually found another receipt yesterday where they charged me $6.99 when I bought one loaf of bread. But anyway, so it's like a health food store called Lucky's or whatever, but they're full of crap. They're probably doing that on purpose. But yeah, so next time I'm just gonna make sure that they ring me up $5.99. So I went into that store yesterday, and this old woman came up to me. I guess she thought I worked there. I mean, I'm thinking she thought that I worked there, but because I was like trying to make this this little broth not fall off, because the way they were putting them on the shelves, I kept feeling like it was gonna fall off, so I kept trying to make it stay there because I did want to buy some chicken broth. And so anyway, this old lady came up to me, and she's like, do I know where the what'd she say? Rolls. Did I know where the rolls were? Well, what she was looking for was like cinnamon rolls, but she didn't say that. She said rolls. Well, anyway, we probably started talking for at least 45 minutes. And I don't know how we got to talking about aliens or whatever, but we did somehow. It was kind of hilarious. And she said that she used to be like a therapist, and she even hypnotized people before, a long time ago. And I asked her if she ever heard of Barbara Lamb or Daryl Sims. She never heard of those people. And but then she brought up the Rothschilds, and so she was a little enlightened apparently, but it was just kind of funny. And then she told me she was 81, but she looked like she was 91, and this was kind of hilarious. She's the one that started talking about aliens, so then I started talking about aliens. She told me she was having, this must have been probably long ago, but that she said she was having sex with this man or whatever, and she said that she saw him turn into a mantis being, and then that she became a mantis being too, and so she said that she thinks those two beings were accessing their body to experience sex or whatever. So then she was apparently an alcoholic. So then she goes over there and starts looking at the beer and stuff. And then I started telling her about my experience, where I laid down and then I stood up as a reptilian being, and I looked down at my dick and everything, and I morphed it as big as I wanted to by my thought and stuff. I told her about that experience, and I said, well, that was probably a little different than your experience. But anyway, but she's the one that started it, so I told her about that experience. And then she said something about there's like a group, but she mentioned one of the persons was like 90 years old, but she thinks that they had already died or something. There was a small group of people that met at the library or something like that. And I don't know, I guess they talked about abductions or something, I don't know, but I have no desire to go. But so yeah, but it's just like when she started talking about how she was having sex with some man or whatever, it was like gross. That wasn't anything I wanted to envision, you know what I mean? Because she looked like she was 91. She had a really hairy face. She had that really fine, fuzzy fuzz, gray hair fuzz all over her face. But, yeah, it's amazing how some people can be 81, but they look 91, and some people can be 81 and they look 71 and act 71. But she acted pretty damn elderly, even though she was only 81. I mean, you look at some people like Barbara Lamb or whatever, she don't act, 80s really too much. She acts more hip than like 85 or whatever. But, so anyway, that was just kind of weird. I mean, I just wanted to go in there for 5 minutes to exchange my bread. I mean, to get my $2 back from the bread. I kept the bread. But then I meet this weird old woman. She's the one that came up to me first. Because like I said, I think she thought that I worked there or something. And like I said, I can't even remember how we got to start talking about aliens. All I know is, I think at first she started talking about the crap that's in the food and stuff, I think that's how it started. We started talking about the stuff that's in the food supply or whatever. But I don't know how it got to... I can't remember how we got to started, to talk about aliens. But, yeah, and then of course, people mistakenly think that there's... they think that all this activity was going on, 20, 30, 80 years ago, and it's not going on today. Yeah, it is. It's just going on the same way it's always been going on, 5 billion years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's just people don't talk about it because it doesn't click in their brain what's ever going on, It never dawns on them. Like, they may have a weird experience, but it never dawns on them that the alien gave them that experience. So then they never make a YouTube video or whatever. But, because when she told me that experience, I said, well, I wish you and other people would start talking about their experiences and make videos on YouTube or whatever. And then, like I said, she acted like, a lot of activity went on, 20, 30 years ago, but then today there's no activity. It's like, bullshit. You just gotta, your brain has to enlighten to see it, because they're fucking with the whole world. That's obvious. Every day, almost every day. I mean, they're not just screwing with the whole world. I mean, they're screwing with the whole world almost every day. Because they're always creating your dreams. That's still an experience. I mean, even if it's a shitty dream, they're still creating it. You don't create your own dreams, ever. Okay, so anyway, that was just kind of funny. But, yeah, I've had some abductions by Joel lately, but some of them were too sexual. And, what was the other one he gave me? Oh, and then one of them was a dud. Where it's like he abducted me and then boom, nothing happened. But I thought there was one other. Well, it doesn't matter, but yeah, I've been getting a lot of lucid dreams though by the other beings, the flat-faced beings. They give me a lot of lucid dreams, flat-faced reptilian beings. But Joel, he's given me some lately, but they were too sexual. And then he also gave me one, but it was a dud. Like nothing happened. Like he messed up. I don't know. He messed up or something. But so then so some of these experiences. Well, actually, this morning I was having some weird ones. I mean, but they were just like quick, like bam, 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 bam. Some virtual reality type of dreams, so to speak. But they were just like bam, 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 like very quick. But yeah, and I was asking, for experiences. So sometimes it's like, I'll ask for experiences, but Joel doesn't, he's out of commission or whatever, so then other beings, other demons or whatever try to come forward and give me quick experiences like this morning or whatever. Because, one of them was, and like I say, these were clear, but they were just really quick experiences. They weren't like a dream, they were just kind of like virtual reality quick experiences that they showed me. But one of them was I all of a sudden started seeing this beautiful male, not tiger, lion, like out in the desert or whatever. He was started walking to the left, and I started seeing it. I mean, it was like he had this beautiful pattern. I don't know. It was like this beautiful pattern on his. He didn't look like a normal lion, but I knew he was a lion, and he looked like he was a male, and he just had this beautiful pattern, you know, on his front part of his body and his neck and stuff. And I was just like, wow, look at that beautiful deer. I mean, not deer, I mean lion. And like I say, he was walking to the left, like we were, like he was standing out in the desert or whatever, walking to the left. And then I saw these like deer hunters, and I was like, oh no, they're gonna try to shoot it, you know. And I did kind of have deer hunting on the brain lately, you know what I'm saying? So the aliens took that, and and then all of a sudden I saw this Indian. This Indian appeared right next to the lion, this male, big old lion, beautiful lion, with big old round head, and then the deer hunters tried to shoot at the lion, but they shot the Indian instead by accident. And then I looked over at the Indian was just kind of like all distraught, like, like I'm dying, blah, 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 blah. And like, it's like he got shot in the neck or whatever. But, so the alien showed me that. And then there was this other creepy experience where, and see, this was the same demons come forward and give me these experiences. Because they're always, you know, making people come in my backyard, hop the fence, and try to break in my back door or whatever. Well, this time, the alien who was knocking on my door was my brother. And so I went and opened the door. It's like the alien was trying to recreate him or look like him or something, but, he looked very, very, what do you call it? Demonic, kind of. My brother did. He looked very creepy and demonic. And, what's that word? He just didn't have a very pleasant look about him. He just looked very rogue, kind of, when my brother was knocking on my door. And then when I started talking to him, and I'm like, why the heck you jumped over my fence? And, because I'm like, why are you going to scare me like that? You know what I mean? Like, he hopped the fence and, got in my backyard and knocked on my back door. And I was like, why'd you do that? Because that's kind of scary, But yeah, he looked really weird and creepy and demonic kind of in this experience or whatever. But basically, he was like, well, I'm here to fix your fence. And I told him, Dad already fixed my fence pretty good or whatever, but he was still adamant about fixing my fence. And he was going to come fix my fence not too long ago in real life, but my dad went ahead and came over and fixed my fence. But yeah, like the alien, they made him look really creepy and eerie and, And his hair was, I don't know, his hair was really different. And like I say, it didn't look 100% like him, like maybe 80%. But that was just a very quick experience. But anyway, there's a couple others, but I'm not going to talk about those. But or about a week ago, not a few days ago, a week ago, I woke up. Well, see, this is another thing. I think sometimes, like, when I'm in bed and that group of grays shows up, I don't know if it's 2 of them or if it's 3 of them, but there's at least 2 of them that show up a lot, and they do stuff to me, like, I don't know what they do to me, but they end up, creating bruises and stuff on me, and they do show up quite a bit, and sometimes I think, like, even though I'm sleeping and I'm conked out and stuff, I somehow know that they're still tampering with me, because then I'll, like, wake up and go to the bathroom or something, or in the next morning when I wake up or whatever, like, I feel like I've had this really hardcore anxiety all night. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you can feel that in your stomach, where you have this hardcore anxiety, and that's happened many, many, many times. And now I'm thinking that's due to me knowing that they're coming and doing shit to me, because they don't want me to know really that they're coming, and you know what I mean. They make sure I'm hardcore sleeping and stuff, but you know, my psychic abilities still tells me. So anyway, like, yeah, so I think that's where that's coming from. Like the past few mornings I haven't had it, you know, that weird anxiety feeling or whatever. But yeah, so about a week ago I woke up and it was like a work day, and I had a little needle prick in my right part of my neck. And then there was a little rash that was like 1.5 inches long. A little rash that went down from the needle prick on my neck. But yeah, people are just like stupid. They just think, oh, nobody's talking about any experiences, so it's not happening. But it's still happening every damn day to everybody. These experiences, it's just nobody's talking about them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're in a trance and it doesn't dawn on them what's going on. So they can't talk about them because they're, you know, they're not really conscious of it. Okay, so that was one experience, but of course that was a boring experience. So this other long drawn out lucid dream where I was at the bookstore. This is kind of hilarious. I'm gonna edit a lot of it out because it'd be too long to talk about it. But I mean, basically a lot of these lucid dreams, I mean, I'm literally just, it is like being in another reality. Like I'm just living in another reality. In this case, I was at the bookstore. The cafe was about 4 times bigger than in real life. And it was like me, my mom, my sister, and it just went on for hours and hours and hours and hours. Well, at some point, in real life, my sister's boyfriend's brother, you know, has a dog or two. I can't remember their names, but in this experience, the alien, for whatever reason, the alien, you know, created for the brother to have this dog named Crisco. And see, my sister's dog just died, you know, before this experience. And it was just kind of funny. Like, so then when it's like I was walking up to the area where you pay for your books or whatever, my mom was walking up towards that area. And I told her that, you know, so-and-so's dog died. And his name was Crisco. And he was like a white dog. He had a white dog named Crisco. In real life, he doesn't have a white dog named Crisco, but in the scenario, the brother had a white dog named Crisco. So I told my mom, I was like, did you know that Crisco died? And then she started like being all distraught and crying and stuff. And I saw her like turn against the window, you know, out towards the parking lot. And she was just like, oh, like crying and shit. The aliens are very dramatic when they give you these scenarios. But that was one funny experience. The dog named Crisco, because the dog was white. And actually, I did have Crisco on the brain. And I can't remember why I started thinking about Crisco a few days prior to this experience as well. I don't know, I was looking up cooking stuff or something. So yeah, the alien went by that. Okay, so anyway, oh yeah, and then a few days ago, it was this other lucid dream where Patty just like, she came barging out of like a bedroom, but I was in a strange house, in a strange room or whatever. And Patty came barging out of the bedroom and bit one of Truman's eyes out. And I was looking at Truman and I was just like, oh, you know, he clearly did not have an eye. It wasn't bloody or anything like that, but it was all closed up and it was just like gone. And I was just like, and under the scenario, I was like, is this for real? Is this for real? I hope I'm dreaming. I hope I'm dreaming. I hope this is a dream, you know, because I didn't really know that it was when he gave me that experience, or whatever being gave me that experience. I didn't know I was under a dream or you know, like a lucid dream at that point. And so I just kept, and that happens a lot. They'll give me an experience and I'll see something bad, but I don't know if they're like controlling that part of it and making me say all that, you know, and think all that. Like, am I in a dream? You know, hopefully I'm in a dream and this really didn't happen. So anyway, I was saying all that to me because, you know, I didn't want poor little Truman to not have an eye. So then, of course, after I woke up, I was just like, oh, thank God, I'm relieved or whatever. So Patty had bit Truman's eye out. But he's good now. Because that was just in another reality that he got his eye bit out that the alien created for me. Okay, so anyway, so this other experience was in 2014. And I first said there was that one experience I had where I was in the bedroom and that was by Joel, and there was all this like electricity, like lightning in my room, this lightning going off and on, turning off and on or whatever. That experience, because all these two experiences were close together, and so I originally said that there was that one part where it's like I was standing there with a coworker in this big building, and it's like she was my coworker, and that was just like a little, like virtual reality experience. And I thought that, I don't know, Joel had messed up. Like, why would he give me some weird experience like that? Well, anyway, like place me, like it didn't make sense with, me running up the wall and doing backflips. That didn't really go with that experience. Well, actually, that one didn't go with that experience. That bit was with this experience that I forgot about, because both of those experiences happened close together. So yeah, so this experience also happened in 2014, and the bed was facing the other direction, and I kept feeling all these little like they were using their, like, I felt like there was 3 reptilians that were like, I felt like 1 or 2 of them could have been females. One of them I think was a male, or 2 of them were male, and I felt like 1 of them could have been female. And they were doing this laser stuff with my legs, like they were like lasering my legs. It didn't hurt or anything. They were lasering my legs, and I kept, even though I was still kind of semi-asleep, I kept knowing that they were bugging me. And I kept feeling like my body started shrinking. Like I kept feeling like it was shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And that's not the first time I felt that way. And so I kept thinking, dang, I know the beings are messing with me, so I need to get up out of bed so they will stop messing with me. Okay, so this is where the other scene comes in the scene. So I'm standing there like in this big white hallway of a building that we were like, me and this worker were apparently working there, and I was talking to her. I can't remember what I was saying, but I was standing there talking to her, and it was like all virtual reality. And so I was standing there talking to her like as if she was my coworker, and I don't know what our job was exactly, but we were just standing there in this big huge hallway in this building, and like I say, it was like she was my coworker and I was talking to her. So anyway, that's why he placed me in that scene, because I had already told myself I need to get up out of bed, because I knew the beings were messing with me while I was in bed. Like they were like, and I kept feeling all this like laser stuff on my legs, and then I started feeling like I was shrinking, but nothing hurt or anything. And so I kept telling myself I need to get up out of bed so they'll stop messing with me. Okay, and this was all in 2014. And then that's where he places me in that, like I say, that my place of employment. And which in real life is nothing like that. But so he placed me in, and the woman was familiar to me, but I can't remember who she was now. Some woman I knew many years ago or whatever. Okay, so and it was all virtual reality because I thought it was real. Okay, so then I proceeded. Then he basically places me in my living room, and then this is all virtual reality, and I started vacuuming really good. I started walking around the house forever and ever and ever. And I was vacuuming, cleaning up and stuff, and I kept vacuuming, and like I say, this was all virtual reality. Okay, and then, lo and behold, I completely wake up. And, I completely come to full consciousness or whatever, and I open my eyes, and I'm laying there in bed, and I was like, are you kidding me? I've been laying in this bed this whole damn time? I never did get up out of bed, but I thought I did. So that was kind of a fun experience. but yeah, I accidentally put that one part where I was being placed in my employment, that building, in that other scenario where the electricity was, Joel was creating all this electricity in my bedroom, and I kept doing backflips, front flips, and I kept walking up the wall doing backflips. And I asked for that experience, and he gave it to me. It was fun. But I originally said that one piece of information went with that experience, but it didn't. It went with this experience. Okay, so anyway, but yeah, so it was really freaky because I really thought I was vacuuming. I was up walking around walking around the living room for hours and hours and hours, cleaning and vacuuming and stuff. I really thought, that I was doing that. And I really thought I was standing there, with that woman, talking to her in my place of employment. And like I say, when I, finally woke up completely, I realized I had been in the bed the whole damn time. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Because it really, kind of freaked me out. Because I knew I wanted to get up out of bed because I knew the beings were messing with me. And, okay, so anyway, that was one experience back in 2014. Okay, and then there was another experience where this was 2012. I knew this person, and she lived in New York City for a little while, and she told me about her apartment. And I already had this envision in my head what a lot of those apartments kind of look like, kind of old and really old building, high ceilings, very sturdy, I already envisioned what kind of apartment she lived in. Okay, so the alien kind of went off of that and went off of the fact that she, went off to New York. That's not the first time they taken me to New York City either. Okay, so anyway, the alien went off of that, and this experience was in either 2013 or 2014. And so anyway, so this is how it started, and I'm sure I was asking for an experience as well. So Joel, I do believe it was Joel because it was sexual at the end, and maybe it wasn't him. It could have been a different being, but I believe it could have been Joel. And so basically, the being abducted me, and I started flying. I started astral traveling over a basketball gymnasium, and I was flying pretty slowly, going west over the basketball gymnasium, and I looked down, and it was like all trashed. It's like all the patrons, they already the basketball game already ended, and they already all left. The whole gymnasium was totally empty and deserted, but what was left over was all the trash. So as I was flying over the gymnasium, astral traveling basically, I looked down and I saw all that yucky trash that was all over the gymnasium, but there was no people. Okay, so then I started flying a little more west, and I come to New York City, and this kind of big solid apartment building with high ceilings. Okay, well then it gets, I remember all of it, but it gets kind of sexual. Yeah, so I'm not really, it was like a woman, and then a man started walking outside the door, across, in front of the door, and I was asking him to like come join us, and then he walked through the door or whatever, but it was kind of, it was sexual, but it was kind of half-ass. It was half-ass sexual. The aliens do that a lot. Like, it's just, like, half-ass. Like, they don't complete everything. They don't really complete the whole, they just give you, like, half-ass sexual experience. They don't give you, like, a full-on, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why they do that. Or maybe they just don't have enough energy or whatever to give it all to you. Like, a whole, full, sometimes they just give you very quick. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, basically, I knew that I was in New York City, and now that woman was nowhere to be found or anything. The alien didn't put that woman that I knew that used to live in New York City, he didn't put her in my scenario or anything, but he just put he went off by the New York City part, you know, and of course he knows I know about basketball gymnasiums and stuff. Oh, and actually, yeah, you know what? He put that in the scenario because back then I was shooting hoops in the basketball gymnasium back then at the Y and stuff, so that's why he put that in the scenario. But yeah, I'm still gonna talk about that other scenario where one of the beans took me to New York City, because I still remember enough of it. And so anyway, so that was one, and it was a quick experience. It wasn't a really long experience, but so that was one experience, and that was either, I think it was 2014, maybe 2013, and I think that was even before I was doing videos. Okay, so then gave me, okay, laser mine, flying over basketball, needle prick, female. Okay, and here's another fun experience I had around 2014. Like I said, that 2018 experience, that was with Pat, when I was talking about how Patty beat up Truman and tore his eye out, and the dog named Crisco. Those were just, I mean, like I said, I have tons. I mean, I have awesome lucid dreams every morning. But some of them, I don't know, it's like they create them when I'm in the deep dream state. Some of them. And so then, I don't know, then after you wake up and everything, it's like, I don't know, those experiences, they're just, even though you still remember a lot, I don't know, they just would be still like really hard to talk about. Because I had this one awesome lucid dream just a couple days ago, and I was basically at my sister's house, but I totally felt like I was in a different dimension, a different city, a different house, but it was her house. And it was just, it went on for hours and hours and hours and hours, and her house was really dirty, and there was a part where I accidentally drank some liquor, and then there was a part where my sister was, she got sick off, I think, some old food and crap that she had in her refrigerator. But anyway, it was just a fun experience, but it was just some of these, like I say, some of these lucid dreams, they last a long time. And it's like I'm in just a very small area the whole time, like in the house the whole time for hours and hours and hours. And it would just be hard to like talk about those kind of experiences. And that one wasn't sexual or anything like that, and they're such a blast because they totally do feel like I'm in a different dimension and everything. And you know, it has totally different energy about it than like 3D reality. I mean, they're awesome and they're fun, but it's like you just forget a lot of little details after you wake up or whatever, and all of those little details are just monotonous anyway. You know, they're just boring. But for me, it's not boring when I'm in the experience, if you know what I'm saying. But to talk about those experiences would be kind of hard because you're just doing monotonous things, if you know what I'm saying. And like I say, I have a lot of lucid dreams like that. And so that's why I don't just try to talk about all of them. But anyway, like, so in 2014, and I did go to England in 2013 and 2014, so the alien, they've already taken me to England millions of times after I already, you know, went there in 3D a couple times. So, okay, so I was asking for a female reptilian to come give me an experience, and this was in 2014. So a female reptilian came forward with wings. Now I don't know what she looked like, I just know she had wings. It's kind of obvious. And so then this is how it started. This was like out-of-body experience, virtual reality experience, and this was a very quick experience too. And like I say, this happened in 2014. So in 2014, I was asking for a female reptilian to come give me an experience. So she came and gave me experience, and it first started out where she sticks me in the bed and breakfast. The bed and breakfast, just kind of like, you know, in real life, I stayed at a bed and breakfast in real life in England. Of course, in this scenario, the bed and breakfast was nothing like in real life. It felt different, looked a little different. Okay, so I was standing there in the living room area at this bed and breakfast, and there was 3 or 4 of the other people walking around, the women that in real life, went on the tour with, the crop circle tour. And they were in the scenario, kind of walking around doing their thing. And so I was just standing there, walking around, observing. And then the next thing I know, I walk into the kitchen, and this is a hilarious part, because it's funny how the aliens, they don't know. It's like they get little bits and pieces off from our reality. You know, they don't know our reality like 100%. So anyway, and at that time, I probably was eating some soft cookies, or I was thinking about making some soft cookies or something like that. And of course at Barnes & Noble, sometimes we'll get those soft cookies at Barnes & Noble. So I know I had cookies like on the brain, so this female reptilian, she put this in my scenario. So when I walk over there to the dishwasher, I opened up the dishwasher, and this was, you know, in the bed and breakfast in England under the scenario. I was in England at the bed and breakfast, and then I walked over there to the dishwasher, which was way over to the right. And I opened up the dishwasher, and at the top of the dishwasher was big, huge, round cookies, like chocolate chip cookies. And they were very soft cookies, because the aliens know that that's how I like my cookies. I don't like hard cookies. They taste like butt. I like really soft cookies. And the aliens know that. So I opened up the dishwasher like as if it was an oven or something. And the cookies were in the racks. You know, the cookies were in the racks like as if, you know, like that's where you put plates and stuff, but it was cookies. Almost like as if the cookies had done being baked, but except they were baked in the dishwasher. And so I started to, you know, look at the cookies, and I think I touched some of them. I can't remember if I took a bite of them. I don't think I did in this scenario. Sometimes I do eat stuff under my scenarios, but this experience, I was observing the cookies and how they were like, oh, yummy, yummy, like awesome, big and round and soft. And so it's kind of hilarious, because the aliens should have, you know, put those cookies in an oven, but she didn't. She stuck them in the dishwasher. So it's just kind of funny, because like I say, the aliens, they get things confused with our reality. And so then here's the fun part. But like I say, this whole experience was very, very quick. So here's the fun part. So then I start astral traveling. So she abducts me again, basically. And I start astral traveling really, really fast over this reptilian city. And she takes me really, really fast. And she was flying along with me, but I couldn't see her. And I was flying, you know, on my stomach really, really, really fast. I don't know why she had to take me over that city really fast. Maybe she thought we were going to get attacked or something by some other beings. That's possible. Because, you know, I mean, I guess that's possible. That maybe why she took me really, really fast over this reptilian city. And I looked down, and it was all these Roman buildings. And like Roman style buildings. I mean, it was pretty damn cool. And that's not the first time that they've shown Roman kind of buildings to people either. So anyway, so she took me over this Roman reptilian city like really, really, really fast. Okay, and then so that was the end of the experience after that. So after I woke up and everything, many times I had been asking them to like drop me off in the reptilian city and let me walk around and observe. But, you know, they have not done that yet. You know, like I don't really know, you know, if they really live in, if some of them live in, you know, Roman style buildings or whatever, if they really have reptilian cities that look like that or whatever. I mean, I guess they can create whatever they want to create if they're, you know, those kind of interdimension beings. I guess they can create whatever they want to create for their reality. I don't know. I mean, because I wonder what it's like, you know, like what is it like day to day, which I know there's really no time over there or whatever, but I wonder what it's like day to day, you know. I mean, I know they're just like energy or whatever, but so I don't know what it's like them, you know, being a interdimensional being. Like what is it like for them like day to day or whatever, you know. But so that was a quick experience, but it was fun. But yeah, so I happened asking them to drop me off in the city, like that Roman reptilian city, and let me walk around and observe. But I don't know, maybe it's too dangerous or something. But yeah, so. But anyway, so those are some experiences that I had recently. But nothing like, you know, really, really good like what Joel normally gives me or anything. Sometimes they're just too sexual. But yeah, and then like I say, when was it? About 3 weeks ago, I was asking for an experience and he abducted me the same way, and I started falling, like astral traveling down so he could catch me and give me the experience. Well, then next thing I know, I wake up and I got nothing. So I don't know if maybe he had no intention. He didn't have time to give me an experience, or he had no intention of giving me an experience. But since I was asking for one, maybe that's the least he could do. But yeah, so that's not the first time that's happened though, where I've had an experience and it was a dud. Like either the bean messed up. I think it was the bean that messed up. You know, he just didn't program me anything for me to see anything or whatever. But anyway, those were my experiences. Thanks for listening. But yeah, that was kind of funny yesterday, just going to Lucky's Market. And like I say, I bet they're doing that shit on purpose too, because I'm gonna have to watch their butt. Because like I say, it happened to my mom, you know, where they overcharged her, and like no telling, I mean, they probably owe me at least $5 more from all the bread that I bought, and they were charging me $6.99 when it's really $5.99. Now my sister, I know she's been buying even more than that, so they probably owe her at least $15. So yeah, you gotta watch these people, man, these companies, because I do think they do a lot of that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? But then I did go to Walmart, and ew, it was like creepy. It was just creepy, and it was mainly just a bunch of employees because they were getting ready for Black Friday. And today's Black Friday, but I went on Thursday on Thanksgiving, and it was pretty dead. There was a few customers, but it was mainly all employees and managers and stuff. And it was creepy because you couldn't even go down any damn aisle, man. I mean, I kept feeling like I was being blocked in, you know? Because they had so much merchandise blocking every single damn aisle. I mean, it was like so creepy. But I can't stand going into Walmart though, because I smell so much nasty ass chemicals. And I know there's this distinct smell that I smell, and I wouldn't even know how to describe it, but I keep thinking it's probably formaldehyde. Like, it's just, I don't know, I guess my psychic ability is telling me that. And I have no idea what it really smells like, but I keep smelling this distinct smell. And it's always over there near where they have the camping shit. Where the worms are, the fishing worms, camping shit, and chemicals. I always smell this distinct smell, and it just makes me want to fucking hurl. But, yeah, I can't stand going in there because all the fucking chemical smells is just gross. But I don't know, the aliens, they gave me some kind of robotic sense of smell, but thank God it was really, really bad several months ago, where I could literally just smell petroleum 20 feet away in the book, you know, the ink, because the ink is all petroleum. In books and magazines, it's all petroleum. Like, I literally can just walk by 20 feet away from the book and smell the petroleum in the ink. But luckily now, my robotic sense of smell is my cyborg sense of smell, which I'm sure, I think it's probably partly due to the aliens, and it could be partly due to my pituitary gland when they went up my nose and got the tumor off. But I still think it's probably partially due to the aliens, because like I say, the aliens already told me they were turning me into a cyborg. Well, hello, if you can like fucking smell smells, you know, like that, if your nose is that sensitive, that's fucking robot. That's a robot right there. You know, that's robotic shit. You know, so I do believe, and like I say, it could be, you know, the implants and stuff, why I have a robotic sense of smell. And partially due to maybe screwing up my olfactory nerves by going up my nose and getting the tumor off. That could be partly due to it. But thank God now, I think it kind of comes and goes. Like it's not turned on 24/7, 365, thank God. But I still have it, believe you me, I still have it. I still have my robotic sense of smell. And it's almost like some of that ability is almost like psychic as well. It's kind of like, you know, like I don't know, it's really weird. Like, let's see, how do I explain it? Like, I don't know, it's really weird. Like, I was standing up next to this woman at PetSmart, and she's an employee, and she does look like a meth head. She does. She looks like either she's an ex-meth head, or that she had done it a time or two. And then all of a sudden I was talking to her, and all of a sudden I started smelling this weird fucking chemical. And like I say, some of my ability is kind of like, and it could have been a small tad bit of chemical that she had on her clothing that I was smelling, or that could have been partially psychic. Because I think most of what I'm smelling is totally real physical smells, but a lot of time I do believe it's like a psychic sense of smell as well. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, who knows if she really had that tad bit of chemical on her clothing, or physically, or if I was just, you know, smelling that tad bit of chemical psychically, because, you know, maybe she, you know what I mean, used to be around that chemical or whatever when she did meth or whatever. But yeah, but luckily my freaking cyborg sense of smell, it's not quite turned on 24/7, 365 like it was like a few freaking months ago or whatever, where I just couldn't fucking go anywhere. Because like I say, most of all what you smell is all chemicals, because chemicals is in everything. It's nothing natural. Everything is fucking chemicals. Nothing is natural. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, thanks for listening.